Hello again, everybody. It's time to take a look at the news and features from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. I'm Scott Casper. This week we head to Tashkent, the capital of Uzbekistan and the site of the 2014 World Wrestling Championships. Now, it's the first time that Uzbekistan has hosted the Worlds, bringing athletes, coaches, and fans from around the globe to the small Asian country for the biggest event in our sport. Team USA came into the competition with high goals and expectations of success in all three styles of Olympic wrestling. A long summer of training and preparation all came down to this. Let's start with men's freestyle. That was held the first 2 days of competition. Bruce Burnett's team is a mix of veterans and newcomers, and on the first day, 3 of 4 in action hit the World Championship mats for the very first time. We start with the veteran of the group, 2009 world bronze medalist Travel Delagnev. He was on a mission to win his second medal. He placed 5th the last 3 years at the Worlds in 2011 and 13 and the Olympics in 2012. America's top big man had a great start, scoring a fast 11-1 tech fall over Moldova's Alexander Romanov in the opening round. In round 2, he squared off with veteran Soslin Goglev of Slovakia and controlled the action on his way to a 5-0 shutout victory. Now in the quarterfinals, it was Turkey's Taha Agul who came into the event ranked number 1 in the world. A highly competitive match. It was the Turk who would prevail, a 4-2 win for that young man. When Agul reached the finals, Delagnev was drawn back in repechage, where he stopped Aslan Zebazov of Azerbaijan to score 3-1. His opponent in the bronze medal round, 2011 champion Alexei Shemarov of Belarus. He'd battled Travel a number of times in the past. What made it different? Well, this time it was Travel who scored the key points and came away with a tight 2-1 win, his second career world bronze.
He doesn't have a lot of go-to stuff, but I know that he's dangerous, so I knew I had to get up, get out, get my points, and then just stay in the fight. He was trying to get that under, you know, he's a hand fighter, and he tries to stand you up. I'm a hand fighter, I try to pull you down, so it's kind of clashing styles, first one to get to their position, so, you know, praise the Lord, we were able to get to mine.
Former Missouri star Nick Maribel got off to a good start as well, this one at 154, his first world appearance. He opened up with a hard-fought 2-1 victory over 2012 Olympic bronze medalist Azarek Tantarov of Kazakhstan, and then controlled Armenia's Grigor Grigorian for a clutch 4-2 victory. In round 3, Maribel took on 2013 world bronze medalist Ali Shabanov of Belarus. Maribel fell behind early and battled back to no avail, losing 5-2. When Shabanov failed to reach the finals, Maribel was then eliminated from the event and eventually finished 8th on the scoreboard. We talked to Nick on his day of competition.
It was just, kind of like wrestling myself. The guy was real defensive, strong, big, and I just couldn't get past his arm. So I think the biggest difference was just that mistake I gave up early in the first period. I let him get to my ankles, got in too deep, and then I gave up a turn on top, which changed the whole match. So he could be on the defensive, and I'd have to open up a bit. But I think that's the biggest part.
Well, 3-time NCAA champ Ed Ruth also saw his first world action at 189. He came out on fire, taking it to Yusuf Malijav of Turkmenistan on the way to an impressive 12-2 win. It's a tech fall, by the way. His second round opponent was Asghari Mohammadian of Iran. He beat Ruth at the World University Games last summer. Although he was able to score on some attacks, it was the Iranian who had the best effort, beating Ruth 7-4. When Mohammadian did not reach the finals, Ruth's day came to an end. We talked to him about his performance.
I feel like a lot of things I could have done different. I could have done a lot of things better. I just got to find a way to turn this loss around and kind of learn from a lot of these things I've done today. And just come back even harder, come back even better. Just tighten up a lot of things, my offense, my defense, and that'll make me feel a lot better about coming back here next year.
Iowa's NCAA champ Tony Ramos surprised a lot of people when he made the U.S. team this summer. He drew a very talented Mongolian in Bekbayar Erdenebat in the opener and was able to score on some attacks, but it was the Mongolian who eventually pulled away with a 7-4 win. When Erdenebat failed to make the finals, Ramos was not eligible for the repechage.
I mean, it wasn't much of a day. I only had one match. It's not what I came here for. It's not what I've been training for and what I've been, making all these sacrifices and putting all this hard work to come and wrestle one match. The only thing that you can do from here is you can't put your head down. You got to keep moving forward. I'm not going to let it change my attitude. I'm not going to let it change what I'm about.
National Freestyle coach Bruce Burnett shared his feelings on his team's opening day's performance.
Look, we have 4 warriors getting on the mat tomorrow, and our expectation is that they'll all get on the podium as well. And having Tervel win and take home some hardware, yeah, I think that helps a little bit. But the reality of it is those guys understand that the responsibility is theirs, it's their matches, and they'll come out and compete.
Well, 4 world champs were crowned on day 1 of the tournament. At 189, 18-year-old Russian phenom Abdul Rashid Sadulayev dominated the field, dispatching Cuba's Reinier Salas by a 10-0 tech fall in the finals. And Russia added a second gold at 154 when Kitek Sabalov scored a 10-0 tech over Yakup Gor of Turkey. Winning his second world gold was Kyung-il Yang of North Korea at 125. He stopped talented Georgian Vladimir Kinchigashvili 5-3 in the finals. Finishing off a great season was Turkish heavyweight Taha Agul. He controlled Komil Gashemi of Iran 4-3 for his first world title. When we return, we'll go to day 2 of men's freestyle action. Stay tuned.
Has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
Hi, I'm Wayne Boyd, Director of Operations and Development for Titan Mercury Wrestling Club. The club was founded to help wrestling worldwide, especially at our senior level, of course at the collegiate level and the high school level. But the most important level for Titan Mercury Wrestling Club is the kids level. And these are some of the guys today that will be tomorrow's Olympic champions. Let's hear it, guys.
Titan Mercury!
That's Titan Mercury Wrestling Club, San Marino, California.
We go to day 2 of men's freestyle. It featured an experienced American squad with 3 of 4 having world championship experience. The leader of the U.S. team, Olympic and 2-time world champ Jordan Burroughs, came in at 163 and looked for his 4th straight world or Olympic title. Burroughs opened against a relative unknown, Augusto Medina of Guinea-Bissau. During a scramble, Burroughs injured his left knee but gritted out a 4-3 win with a late push-out for the victory. The next round, Burroughs had his leg wrapped all the way up but came back strong. He got his offense rolling with a 13-2 tech fall over Korea's Young Seok Lee. But the speed and motion that Jordan is most well known for was not there. Wrestling with pride and passion, Burroughs came through in the quarterfinals with a 5-0 win over 2013 world bronze medalist Rashid Kribanov of Uzbekistan. Yep, the hometown favorite. That placed Burroughs in the semifinals with longtime rivals Denis Sargush of Russia, a 2-time world champ who Burroughs has beaten in the 2011 Worlds and 2012 Olympic Games. Sargush came out inspired and strong and quickly scored early. He would later add to his lead and halted a comeback effort from Burroughs, knocking off the American 9-2. It was only Burroughs' second loss ever in senior-level freestyle, and the loss put him in a bronze medal match against Ukraine's Rustam Dudyaev. Burroughs was ready for the challenge and put on a strong show, scoring early in the bout. He scored a takedown that put Dudyaev on his back and then secured the pin, 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Burroughs talked to us about the gutsy performance he showed on his way to a bronze.
I'm not going to make an excuse as to why I lost today, and so I don't want to, even
go there.
Yeah, I don't want to even go there. I don't want to say that pain was the terms of why I didn't compete well in the semifinals, and so, Sargush wrestled extremely tactical match. He came out, he brought the fight to me. He was hungrier, he was well prepared, and that's what it's all about. He's a stud, man. He's a stud. I think he was forgotten in the last couple of years just because of the run I've been on.
Wrestling in his third world championship, Brent Metcalf came out strong in his opening bout at 143. He opened his offense for an impressive 11-0 tech fall over Korea's Yeon-seok Lee. In the second round, Metcalf faced an aggressive opponent in Turkey's Mustafa Kaya. Well, the match was very close throughout, but it was the Turk who was able to emerge with a hard-fought 6-4 win. Kaya won 2 more times, but was defeated in the semis, knocking Metcalf out of the repechage. Here's Brent Metcalf.
I felt great, wrestled pretty well. I got in a pretty good scrap with a guy and, wasn't able to do what I wanted to do. You can't give up front headlock scores. I mean, that's an area where I've gotten a whole lot better in. And whatever the circumstance may be, it doesn't matter how you feel. You can't give that up in there.
Jimmy Kennedy came into his first World Championships at 134 with confidence. He scored big points in his opener for a quick 10-0 tech fall over Indonesia's Hamka. In round 2, Kennedy drew veteran Andre Perpelita. Although he was able to score some points, it was Perpelita who took the lead and emerged with a 6-4 win. Kennedy was eliminated when the Moldovan fell short of the finals, placing him 10th in his weight.
There's not too much to say. Not what I wanted, obviously, but I just didn't get my offense going. But it's hard to get here, and it's even harder to win. You just got to find a way and just got to try to learn from that. Yeah, I did all the right things going into it. I don't know.
2012 Olympic champ Jake Varner returned to the world stage after taking the 2013 season off, competing at 213 solid pounds. Varner looked great as he controlled Germany's William Hart 7-0 in the opening bout. Round 2, he had a battle against Valery Andreitsev of Ukraine, who Varner had defeated in the gold medal round of the London Olympics. Varner took an early lead, but it was Andreitsev who had a strong second period, picking up the pace for a 5-3 win. He was not able to make it to the finals, knocking Varner out of the tournament. In the final team standings, Team USA finished in a tie for 9th with Ukraine, coming home with a pair of bronze medals. National freestyle coach Bruce Burnett talked about Jordan Burroughs' effort and the overall performance of Team USA.
The courage that Jordan showed coming back out and wrestling, it just puts him in a class and by himself. That's what I'll say. And that's one of the things that makes him who he is. We all have choices in life. And tomorrow morning, we're going to have choices again. We can look back and say, what could have been? What should we have done? We should have done this. But the reality of it is, the other choice is, well, let's get busy and fix the problem.
Well, Russia had another great day, winning 3 more golds to leave Tashkent with 5 individual champs and the team title. After defeating Burroughs in the semifinals, Denis Sarguj won his 3rd world title when he defeated Suzuki Takatani of Japan in the finals 8-2. It was Russia's Sozlan Ramadov who was a human highlight reel. He won the title at 143 with a pin over Saeed Mohammadi of Iran. Russia's 3rd gold of the night came at 2:13. It was Abdusalam Gadazov who beat former world champ Kite Gatsiamov of Azerbaijan 2-1. Well, the final champ of the event was Azerbaijan's Haji Aliyev, who beat Musad Ismailpour of Iran 12-7 at 134 pounds. Well, American wrestling fans had a great chance to follow some of the top college wrestlers there to compete at the World Championships for other countries. Uzbekistan's Beksad Abdurakhmanov was an NCAA All-American for Clarion University in Pennsylvania and now competes for the famous New York Athletic Club. Abdurakhmanov returned to his hometown in Tashkent for the world competition, and a large crowd came out to show their support. Abdurakhmanov opened strong with a tech fall over a Hungarian opponent. In round 2, with the crowd behind him, Beksad edged out Iran's Mustafa Hussein-Khani 3-3. In the quarterfinals, he was edged by Turkey's Yakup Gor 4-1. When Gor made the finals, Beksad was pulled back into the wrestlebacks and won his next bout over Ibrahim Aid of Egypt 10-0. In the bronze medal round, Abdurakhmanov fired up the crowd with an exciting 7-3 victory over Yupasov of Tajikistan, winning his 1st world medal in front of his hometown fans.
It's very exciting. I'm blessed to be here. And, we'll have
such a great opportunity and a great tournament. I'm blessed to do well in this tournament. Hopefully next time I will do my best to do even better. Not at this level I haven't won, but my last medal was in Devil Chills in the United States. I placed second. And this is my first big medal. I hope it's not last one.
Franklin Gomez of Puerto Rico was an NCAA champ for Michigan State and trains at Penn State. He entered the event at 143, just up a class from his normal weight. The past world silver medalist got off to a fast start, beating Akosov of Kazakhstan 5-1. Next up, he faced a tough Russian in Sozlan Ramonov, who had a high-scoring battle with Gomez before securing the pin late in the bout. When Ramonov made the finals, Gomez had another chance in repechage. He was dominant in repechage number 1 with a 13-0 tech fall over Clavier of France, but was unable to get his offense on track in the second, falling to Gunzarig of Mongolia 7-4. Gomez would finish 8th overall in the tournament. Also in action, Cal Poly All-American Boris Novashkov, who competes for Bulgaria at 143. Novashkov won his first match, putting away Borzhikov of Turkmenistan 10-0. In the next round, it was Nuryakov of Belarus who was able to beat Novachkov, getting the criteria win 4-4. When the Belarusian did not make the finals, Novachkov was knocked out of the tournament. Well, stay tuned, wrestling fans. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Well, we're not able to report on the final 5 days of the World Championships that are taking place for women's freestyle and Greco-Roman. As we went into production today, the first set of U.S. women's freestylers had just weighed in. Team USA has high hopes this year with a veteran team that has won numerous world level medals in the past. National women's coach Terry Steiner talked about the team a day before their competition.
Right now, we just need to stay on course. You know, we can't get to the tournament and all of a sudden, because we're at the World Championships, make it more than it is. It's still a wrestling match in front of us. We've got to come out with emotion tomorrow. We've got to come out with some fight tomorrow. And if we're willing to do that, things will take care of themselves.
Well, the tournament will wrap up with 3 days of Greco-Roman. New national Greco-Roman coach Matt Lindland will bring a motivated American squad looking to climb the ladder of success. As we told you last week, the team trained in Kazakhstan leading up to the Worlds, and videographer Andrew Stanfield put together several features on the team leading up to the Worlds. Here's a clip of the Greco-Roman team cross-training by playing team handball and ultimate frisbee.
Handball, play frisbee. I think just my IQ in sports is ridiculous. You're up.
I don't know if everybody else on the other team took gym class, but that's basically what it is.
What is the secret to a successful handball or ultimate frisbee? What is it? What's your secret, man?
Have me on your team.
Well, there was also some big news coming out of the FILA Congress, where national wrestling federations from around the world made some exciting and major decisions. First, there was an election for President Nenad Lalovic of Serbia, who ran uncontested and was confirmed by the wrestling community with a new 6-year term. It was Lalovic who led the successful Save Olympic Wrestling movement last year and is working to bring wrestling to a new level of international success. There was also an election for members of the Bureau, which is the executive board that oversees international wrestling. Re-elected were Mamashvili of Russia and Ruziev of Azerbaijan and Senov of Bulgaria. The new members include Gamofilo of Brazil, Mescat of Morocco, and Tomiyama of Japan, and Dittman of Germany. The biggest news out of the event, however, was the renaming and rebranding of the International Wrestling Federation. No longer will it be known as FILA. From this point on, the organization is called United World Wrestling. Now, a new logo was unveiled and a complete new brand strategy was presented and approved by the wrestling community. The future of Olympic wrestling looks bright indeed. We'll take a quick time out, back after this short break.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Well, it's hard to believe, but the start of the 2014-2015 Division I college wrestling season is around the corner. And Win Magazine was the first of the wrestling media to release its preseason team and individual rankings for the year. Win publishes a TPI, which is a team ranking based on projected points at the NCAA championships. The top 5 teams going into the season in the Win TPI rankings include at number 1, Minnesota. There was a tie for second between Cornell and Iowa. Ohio State came in at 4th and Penn State number 5. Win also had their first individual rankings, and leading the way is 3-time NCAA champ Logan Stieber, ranked number 1 at 141, along with 2-time NCAA champ Jesse Delgado of Illinois at 125. Other returning NCAA champs include number 1 rankings Jason Surtzis of Northwestern at 149, Alex Derringer of Oklahoma State at 165, and Jaden Cox of Missouri at 197, and Big Nick Gwiazdowski of NC State at heavyweight. The other number 1s in the preseason include A.J. Schopp of Edinboro at 33, Dylan Ness of Minnesota at 57, and Logan Storley of Minnesota at 74, and Gabe Dean of Cornell at 184. What do you say, fans? Let's let the season begin. In other wrestling news, the National Hall of Fame announced the 2014 NWCA All-Star Classic will be hosted by the University of Pennsylvania in the historic Palestra in Philadelphia. It'll be the 3rd time the Palestra has hosted this important collegiate event. The lineups have not been released, but will feature top stars from around college wrestling. Well, there are very few things in life more challenging than the sport of wrestling. You can find so many athletes who are willing to take on other major life challenges because of the lessons they learned in the sport. Such is the case of 2012 USA Wrestling Man of the Year Dave Barry, who served as the 2012 U.S. Greco-Roman Olympic team leader. Barry was joined by his 2 sons, Jake, 17, and Charlie, the 14-year-old, in an attempt to climb Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. That's located right there in East Africa. Mount Kilimanjaro is the highest summit in Africa at 19,314 feet and is also the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. Charlie, at only 14, was the youngest age that is allowed to attempt the summit. The Barrys, along with 2 guides and a team of porters, started the ascent about 2 weeks ago. These pictures were taken by the Barry family during the ascent. For 6 days, camping on the mountain every night, Dave, Jake, and Charlie headed up the mountain, one of 6 possible ways up, by the way. On the 6th day, after a challenging 8-hour climb during the darkness of night, the Barrys reached their goal, the summit of Mount Kilimanjaro, also known as the Roof of Africa. It took 2 more days for the Berrymen to descend from the mountain and complete their adventure. All 3 were tested to the extreme and had to use many of the physical and mental skills they learned on the mat to achieve their goal. Check out themat.com this week for an incredible feature article on the climb of Mount Kilimanjaro. All right, wrestling fans, it's time for the USA Wrestling Photo of the Week contest. The pictures are sent in from around the country and are being considered for our photo contest page in USA Wrestler magazine and USA Wrestling's Facebook page. This week's photo was taken by one of the many talented American photographers who traveled to Tashkent for the World Championships, Robert Whitman of California. Nice job, Robert. Check out the photo of world champs Jordan Burroughs of USA and Denis Sargush of Russia battling it out at 163 in the semis. Have your photographs considered for our photo contest simply by emailing them to gasabbat@usawrestling.org. Folks, that'll do it for this week's show. From all of us at USA Wrestling, I'm Scott Casper, and thanks for watching.